The F10 Global Summit Singapore edition. Welcome to the audience here at ATR Artery. Great to see so many people. Kind of makes me nervous, but that's how it should be. And also a warm welcome to the thousands of spectators and audience online joining in today. Please let us know from where you're dialing in. Use the chat and get that all going. Today, you might be asking yourself, what is the F10 Global Summit? The F10 Global Summit is basically an event across 3 hubs. We've been running the F10 acceleration program in the last 3 months across Zurich, Singapore, as well as Spain. And today is in a way the grande finale, as you wish, with keynote speeches, panel discussions, as well as startup showcase. We had over 25 startups overall in the program. And now in the next 3 days, you will see a number of those live in action. But for those that are new to F10, to the F10, I guess the audience in here is not, but maybe some people online, just a quick word again about F10. Our vision is really to be the leading global innovation ecosystem for the financial services industry. And we do have the mission to unite tech startups with big business to shape the future of banking and insurance. We are right now across 3 hubs. We are based in Singapore here, Zurich, Switzerland, where it all started 5 years ago, as well as in Spain. And we work with leading financial institutions of whom you will be hearing tonight as well directly. We've had in total over 190 startups already incubated or accelerated in our programs. We had more than 100 collaborations between our startups and the corporates, and many more facts that you can see on this page. But now it is my great honor to welcome our keynote speaker tonight. This is Spiros Margaris. He's the founder of Margaris Ventures. He's a senior advisor actually to the F10, and he's also an advisor to Abler here in Singapore. Last but definitely not least, he's also rated or voted as the global FinTech influencer by Analytica. So Spiros, the floor is yours. Great, thank you so much, Spiros, for that great presentation. And
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and have a great morning, actually.
Good morning. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Wish you all a great deal.
Thanks. Great. So now I would like to welcome our panelists, Neil Thomas and Moni Shankar B to the stage. And we have online joining us Wanyi Wong as well. Let's wait for Wanyi to come on. Interesting to see and refreshing to see what's happening. Spiros' vision of the future, and of course we've seen autonomous driving and AI and everything, but now we're back to FinTech, and I think this year was extremely exciting in terms of all these new developments in the FinTech ecosystem, and I'm very glad and honored to be joined by this great panel: Neil Thomas from SIX, Moni Shankar B from Bank Julius Baer, and then we have Wanyi Wong joining us, FinTech leader at PwC Singapore. But maybe to start off, you guys can quickly introduce yourselves in your roles.
Yeah, no, well, thanks, Jonas. And, great to be here. Great to see some other faces rather than just my monitor for a change. So really nice to be having an in-person event. So my name is Neil Thomas. I work for SIX Group, which is the financial markets infrastructure for the Swiss market and now the Spanish market as of last year. We are involved in basically the end-to-end of financial services. So we look at trading of the Swiss and Spanish stock exchanges. We also cover post-trade services, so clearing, settlement, custody. We have a payments business, so we do all the interbank payment for the domestic markets. We also have a data business, so we look at financial information. And we also then have launched, as of this, about a month ago actually, SDX6 Digital Exchange, which is a digital asset exchange based out of Switzerland, fully regulated by FINMA, and I'm pleased to say now issued its first bond on a fully digital regulated exchange as of 2 weeks ago. So my job, I'm responsible for the APAC operations, and as SIX looks more and more east, we're building out here in this region. So I've been out here for about 4 years, but with SIX for about 13.
Hi everyone, I'm Moni. I work for Bank Julius Baer in their CEO business management. I lead the function. Bank Julius Baer, for some of you who don't know, it's a pure play private bank, one of the largest private wealth managers in the world. We focus purely on wealth management. We don't have an investment bank or a commercial bank. It's always been an open architecture, RM at the center of the relationship sort of bank. We've been in Singapore for a long time. Head office is in Zurich, obviously. And in Singapore, of course, we have our tie-up with F10, and it's been fantastic to interact with new and upcoming fintechs, startups, as well as mature fintechs. And I'm happy to be here today to share my thoughts with you.
Thank you, Moni. And now over to Wanyi.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So apologies for not being there in person. I'm still in my maternity leave. Just had a second boy, just about 2 months old, but very pleased to still be here to share. Thanks, Jonas, for inviting me. Yeah, so I'm the fintech leader with PwC Singapore. I'm a partner with the financial services. Been in this industry for a while. Been working, partnering, especially with F10 in terms of working together with startups, innovation, to help along with them to see how they can develop across Singapore and across this region. Back to you, Jonas.
Thank you guys for that introduction. I think I really want to kick it off right now with Wanyi, who's actually also co-publisher of the FinTech in ASEAN in 2021 report. And I would love to hear a bit from you, Wanyi. What were the trends? What have you guys showed in this report? What has happened in 2021 in ASEAN in the FinTech space?
Sure. Yeah, so I do not have slides to share. I will share a few snippets, but if you do want the full report, it's a report that we launched with UOB, the Singapore FinTech Association, and with PwC during the FinTech Festival. This year is our 3rd edition. It's available online in either of our websites. So just sharing like what Jonas has mentioned in terms of what's happening in ASEAN. Year on year, we do this we do this scanning of the valuation and also funding into ASEAN fintechs, and we conduct a survey. So for the first part, we looked at the ASEAN 6, so ASEAN 6 country, which includes Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. And we looked at the fintech funding. So happy to share, and we are very proud that for 2021 year to date, so we have our stats up to September, just 9 months, we have already broken record. We have a record funding of US dollars 3.5 billion. This is in comparison with last year of a US 1 billion. We have actually tripled in 9 months. These are actually funded mainly into, I would say, 13 mega rounds. When we call mega rounds, meaning deals that are worth more than US 100 million. So maybe just to give you a few names as to who were the ones that went into the funding. So we saw a majority of them being in the payments industry. There is investment tech and also alternative lending. Some names that I could quote would be VNPay from Vietnam, Niam, our own unicorn payments in Singapore, Gcash from Philippines, and also a few others across, mostly in Singapore actually. On that note, maybe I just wanted to also share, we noted that Singapore and Indonesia are the countries that attracted the most number of funding, be it whether it's in the number of deals or actually in the absolute dollar amount. Singapore has always been the past few years being the top in terms of attracting funding, but we saw the gap between these countries closing. So the leadership by Singapore is actually being chased after very closely by our neighboring countries. The other thing that I wanted to share is this year what's interesting is we did a survey, but survey with the individuals this year across these 6 countries. So the consumers of the FinTech solutions. We were keen to understand a bit more on how COVID pandemic has impacted our lives and how have they actually used FinTech solutions. So we actually focus, first of all, on payments, again, being one of the key and most mature industry in ASEAN. And we noted that while cash is still the top usage across 6 countries, remember we are looking at all 6 countries, instead of credit cards, the second most favorable method, it's e-wallet. So we see the use of e-wallet being actually adopted widely. Maybe 2 other quick snippets and I'll hand it back to Jonas. We were interested in the buy now, pay later segment, given that that's the new topic. Interestingly, we got the response of only 31% of them interested or have used buy now, pay later scheme. One reason that we thought is buy now, pay later services or the firms are actually rather new. A lot of them just started as either a branch of a full FinTech or a whole new FinTech somewhere in 2019, just before the pandemic started. So we do see that the trend will become a bit more stronger and the adoption will become faster. The last one that I wanted to share with you, it's actually interestingly 1 in 2 respondents are aware of green investment products, and actually 55% have invested in such green products. However, we asked those who do not or have not invest in green products, and the reason is because of suitability. With that, maybe I'll just pass it back. We're open to question and feel free to share a bit more on this. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much, Wanyi, for all these insights. Buy now, pay later payments, all very new but very exciting fields that are really where you really see that the growth in funding, etc., happening, but maybe not directly what you guys are working on. So maybe Moni first, in terms of wealth tech, what have you seen?
I mean, if I talk about the view from our bank's point of view, I mean, COVID proved that a lot of things that traditionally aren't done digitally can be done digitally. So it really accelerated the focus on digitalization. And what the bank is really working on is making sure that we can be a bank of the future. I know it's a buzzword, but we really believe in it. Because for a pure play bank like us, the relationship manager or the advisor will always be central to the relationship because it's trust-based, it's bespoke. But I think what's changed from a client's perspective is that with the pandemic and with their experience in other facets of life, they expect the similar sort of experience during banking in terms of convenience, digital access, speed of information. So the bank is really focused now on accelerating the digitalization. We have sometimes been viewed as a traditional bank, very secure, quite traditional. And now the focus is on making sure that the presence that we have digitally is similar to what the physical presence we have and of the similar security, similar experience. And in that, I think the pace has really shifted now. We have launched it's part of a multi-year, multi-function roadmap, which is driven from the top. So it has the right EXB level focus, and then it focusing on different facets, access to information to the client, giving tools to the RM, providing e-trading, providing a chat solution, and also just digital presence. I mean, it's interesting to say that we have one of the top 10 podcasts on the Apple Store, which you wouldn't think of earlier. It was just launched in Q1 2021, and it's been very successful. So the focus is, as our purpose statement says, is creating value beyond wealth.
Great.
That's it, I think.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, great insights, and obviously a bit different than maybe what in general is happening in the space. Neil, how do you see it? What have you seen in the last year?
Well, for us, I think there's probably three major themes that I think ESG, sustainability, has been a big part running through, last year as well, but particularly with COP26 happening the back end of October, early November. The sustainability agenda has just gone up and up and up, and our data business particularly is really looking at trying to solve that problem for financial institutions. How do they, obviously you get a lot of self-reporting through regulations like SFDR, Sustainable Finance Directive, but also how do you get the independent verification that companies are being sustainable, particularly on the environmental side, but also now on the social and also the governance of that as well. So that has been a big theme, particularly for our data business, making sure that we have the information. It's a huge pool of people who are trying to solve this now, but it's led by regulation, and I think that will really change, and that will be taking hold in 2022. Then for us, obviously the digital asset and institutionalizing, and people have talked about trust. Bringing trust into crypto markets has been a large part of what we're trying to now achieve by institutionalizing, but also as an established exchange, bringing crypto so that it has a certain degree of trust, the governance, the de-risking it by good things like KYC, AML, market surveillance that we're bringing to that, and we've done a lot of work around that, and also obviously around digital assets to make sure that that is available to the market in a regulated form. And then finally, we've seen a lot of work around machine learning and AI. How do we make our processes quicker, better, internally particularly, and working with other service providers to really automate our systems and functions internally. There are three major themes, I would argue.
Great, and you do refer also to what Spiros was talking about. I think AI definitely for SIX a huge.
It's an important
topic.
part of our business, yes. Yeah.
Great. So now we've kind of looked back. Sorry to say, Wanyi, but kind of your report is now already outdated, and we want to know what's going to be the trend in 2022. What are you seeing, and maybe also do you have any specific yourself innovation initiatives that you're planning for 2022?
Sure. And actually, I think both Neil and Moni have actually touched on them. I think the two top topics are ESG and also digital assets. This is what we have garnered from speaking with various parties in the ecosystem. Hence, we actually did ask about the ESG, the green products. We see that going to be the top topic coming up in 2022. It's not going to slow down, it will just speed up. In terms of digital assets or digital currencies, one other insight that I did not share earlier is we did ask the respondents whether they will invest into digital assets. Interestingly, 9 out of 10 actually say they will. But the other, to me, very interesting and surprising response was that in Singapore, we had a higher percentage of people saying no to digital currencies, despite the fact that we are seen as a hub. So that's of course to be digested and dissected into various demographics before we could really understand. But with that, I think digital assets with additional regulations giving trust to the consumers will actually help to actually make that happening. And with that, our innovation is actually in these two spaces as well. We would like to look at how we can help with green fintechs. How do you use data, a lot of data platforms to actually help ecosystem players adopt green solutions. And on digital assets, it's partnering with, again, banks, ecosystems, innovation hubs like yourself, to see how we can actually use blockchain to actually secure tokenize various assets, and that's where we think a lot of the action will happen in the next year.
Thank you for sharing, Wanyi, and I think I'm glad to hear that you see that more in the future. Today you will see the future, as many of our startups in the current batch are working on these topics already for a while. So thank you for sharing. Maybe Neil, what are you seeing specifically to continue to be accelerated in 2022?
Well, I think it's for us, it's going to be the same themes. I think for ESG, and then definitely for me, digital assets and cryptocurrencies, because we go live with our exchange next year. So really now, for us, it's about working with the regulators, making sure that we create the environment. So I'm delighted to hear that 9 out of 10 people want to do digital assets, but making sure that we have that environment that is trusted, respected, that we can get the liquidity to flow onto it. So our work really is to support that project and work with all the different stakeholders in Singapore and in the wider ASEAN market to make sure that when we do go live, it's a success for everybody who needs it, whether that be a bank, whether that be a broker, market makers, asset managers, that we have an environment which they can trust for both crypto and for digital assets. I think, and then on the ESG side, I mean, they work together as well. So digital exchanges definitely help with sustainability, because obviously the democratization that can bring, how can you focus on investment in certain types of areas? So if you want to invest in companies who are proactively working on sustainable power and energy, you can actually segment through digital assets the market that you want to look at. So we work on those things together, making sure that we can report the facts. And I think that's really our role in 2022, is to really improve our knowledge, get our technology up and running and live, so that we can, we're not working in a build-out environment, we're working in a live environment.
Great, thanks for sharing, Neil. And Moni, what are you planning for 2022?
I mean, for us, it's more to do with structure rather than topics, because I think the topics, all of us know, are some of, everybody's dealing with the same ones, because that's where the focus is. For us, it's more about the structure in terms of making sure that we provide the platform as well as we attract the talent in the bank so that we can focus on innovation. So it started at the top, the organization structure itself. There is a innovation vertical now. In Asia, we've just started and are in the process of establishing innovation lab called Launchpad, which will also be one of the key areas we work with F10 on. And the idea is to make sure that, it's a three-pronged approach. One, of course, to check ideas that are priority for us and have fast cycles of checking whether the solutions work. Also a culture transformation, making sure that the community in general is a little more attuned towards innovation and can provide the inputs as and when required. And lastly, attract the best talent in the industry so that we can build a team which shares the vision of what we want to do in this space.
Great, yeah, and we definitely can help you guys on that journey for next year. So glad to partner up. And I think that's a wrap. Thank you so much, Neil, Moni, and Wanyi, for joining us here on this panel. And I think now it's time for the startups, for the showcases. So
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leo, I think. Are you going to? We have to. All right. So. Okay, great. So we have the first startup of the 7 tonight, and this is going to be Onchain Custodian. It is an enterprise-grade, secure, insured, and compliant digital asset and open finance services provider. And I have 2 gentlemen here that will be presenting tonight.
Thank you.
Floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can you hear me loud and clear across the room? Yeah. So my name is Amarpreet Singh. I'm COO of Onchain Custodian. With me, I have Leo Shu, MD and Head of Business Development. Together, we are Onchain Custodian. We represent Onchain Custodian. What is Onchain Custodian? So we are a firm believer that tech for the sake of tech or disruption for the sake of disruption means nothing. There has to be a problem statement. Yeah. So what is the problem statement? I think we have heard tonight from the panel and from Spiros that hot topic for 2022 and we believe for years to come is digital assets. It's not only digital assets, but it's digitization of assets as well. So different asset classes, right? When we talk about that, what is lacking? So problem statement one, access to market. Where is the infrastructure? Where is the complete technology stack? Because the way we see it, for the entire integration to happen, everything has to come together. Technology stack, custodianship, node as a service, integration with exchanges, post-trade settlement, and when it comes together, then only you have a complete solution. Otherwise, it's piecemeal, everybody's doing everything on its own and so on. So based on that, 3-4 years ago, we built the infrastructure, we started working on it. Our aim was to work with the regulators, not against them. We do believe in strong regulations in the industry, and that's why we have been working with MAS. We are regulated here in Singapore. We have significant backing by the likes of Sequoia Capital, Onchain, DHVC, Fosun. Our founder, Mr. Da Hongfei, is also founder of portfolio of multi-billion-dollar companies like Neo, Ontology, OpenOcean Financials. So we're all veterans in this space, nothing new. And this is us. My name, Leo, Raymond Chung, our CEO, as well as co-founder. A bit about Leo, 25 plus years experience in traditional finance, 2 technology startups exit, 1 sold to SoftBank, Electronic Arts. Myself, ex-Microsoft, ex-World Bank, a few successful exits as well, so on and so forth. But what's more interesting is the solution, what we have built. These are the tools that we have used to make sure that when we say we are regulated, we mean it, we mean business. So we have implemented Acuity, Merkle Sign, Signa Bridge, Nota Bene. We are the only custodian in market that have end-to-end implementation of travel rule. So it's already implemented, it's right there. Also some recognitions along the way that we have gotten. We got prizes from Singapore FinTech Festival 2019, the Founder Award. Regulations Asia Award, industry involvement, so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, what are we talking about? What is the solution? So we are an absolute safe for digital asset. We are a custody solution, right? So what do you mean by custody solution? Why do you need it? I mean, it's very easy to create an wallet, hold your cryptocurrencies, but when we talk about volumes of multi-billion-dollar of asset, or when we talk about financial institution, they all want to invest in digital assets. We heard 9 out of 10 people want to, yeah? But nobody wants to take the hassle to go to 10 different exchanges, invest in 10 different cryptocurrency, have 10 different wallets, store the private key, and what if I forget it? What happens then? So there is no proper service here that you can see that encompasses everything, right? And what if something happens to you tomorrow, yeah? Then what happens to your crypto? Because in a bank, you fill a nominee form, right? Something happens to you, it gets passed on, so on and so forth. So having that in mind, we created a technological architecture where we provide different wallet service, Bomb Wallet, where we partnered with IBM to create the only IBM HSM level 4 solution in the industry. It took us a few years to build that. Cold Wallet, which is a multi-signature wallet. We have Hot Wallet, which is MPC, which we partnered with Prosegur, and we are in the process of implementing Frozen Wallet, which is basically guarded by military. So the only way to access it, you go inside in a James Bond style, Hollywood movie style, and you access it through your fingerprints and so on. So these are custody solution, right? But when we talk about the entire stack, custody becomes the very foundation of digital banking that we are talking about, yeah? So basically, what do I mean by that? When you have a client storing 1,000 Bitcoins with you or $500 million worth of digital assets with you, they want yield on it, yeah? They want access to liquidity. They'll come to you asking question, can I use it as a collateral to borrow, yeah? Can I stake it? so on and so forth, right? So this leads to a lot of open finance services that we offered along the way, all demand driven because of our clients coming and asking us, yeah? So some of them are asset management, OTC desk, we have a healthy lending borrowing book, ramp on, ramp off, we also offer escrow services. So this becomes a one-stop shop solution for anybody who's willing to partner or come into the space. On top of that, we also built APIs. So if anybody wants to access any of our backend technology, vanilla, this is enablement to banks. This is enablement to what we were talking about, building a bridge between traditional finance and the industry. Also, all our solutions are insured. So on top of building unhackable solution and infrastructure, we also have insurance from Lloyd's of London, so on and so forth. So I was told I only have 5 minutes. I can go half an hour into each one of these, but you know where we are. Feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to go deeper and discuss more on the hot topic of 2022 and years to come, digital assets. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Extremely efficient.
Thank you, guys. That was Onchain Custodian. Next up, we have GreenArc Capital. Just gonna remove my mask. GreenArc is an impact investment fintech helping to close the UN SDG financing gap by increasing the flow of capital towards social and environmental investments. Ronnie, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, I'm Ronnie, CEO and co-founder of GreenArc, an impact and ESG analytics fintech from Singapore. As you know, sustainable investments have been experiencing unprecedented growth over the last decade and has only accelerated through the pandemic. This has been driven by multiple megatrends. This has led to increasing pressure on financial institutions to measure the impact and ESG footprint from their institutional investors who have extensive disclosure demands to their investee financial institutions. Customers who are increasingly choosing their financial institutions based on ESG credentials, and regulators who have ever-increasing ESG reporting requirements, starting with the EU SFDR and more regulations expected to follow. Therefore, financial institutions are struggling with impact measurement across various standards, reporting due to lack of credible tools, and impact washing where claims are made falsely without evidence. Introducing GreenArc's ESG solution, which solves these issues using 3 key features. Impact analytics, which allows impact of investments to be measured aligned to UN SDGs and IRIS Plus metrics. Custom reporting and impact audit to provide independent verification using data science aligned to IFC principles. Of the 300 plus ESG and impact solutions that are there in the market today, GreenArc is the only one that measures impact and ESG for private debt portfolios, including loans, at an end beneficiary level. The ESG analytics market falls within the broader banking and financial services industry analytics market and is a sizable opportunity. There is a blue ocean that exists today, very similar to the credit scoring before rating agencies were set up. This opportunity will last for 6 to 12 months before the gold rush starts. To look under the hood a bit, we have spent over a year creating a methodology aligned to global standards, including GenIRIS Plus, IFC OPIM, and UN SDGs. And being part of a globally recognized IMP's Impact Frontiers cohort has provided our methodology significant credibility. Our solution was built with scalability in mind, allowing financial institutions to plug into our solution using an industry-first Impact API, as well as an MAS-funded Impact Audit research module with BNP Paribas to prevent impact washing. We work on a SaaS-based pricing model with a one-time setup fee and a recurring usage fee based on volumes of data processed. We also have access to a very large loan dataset, which allows us to provide value-added services like advanced impact analytics. In terms of traction, we are doing well with a number of active engagements and a healthy pipeline across banks and asset managers. On financial metrics, we are on track with the revenue and significantly ahead on our assets on platform target. We have received multiple industry accolades and have a clear pathway to scaling consisting of partnerships with 2 large tech firms in the financial space, including a leading core banking solution provider to take our solution to their entire retail banking client base, and a UK-listed financial analytics provider to create a custom impact analytics solution to add on to their bureau credit offering. We've got a strong team experienced across finance, impact, and AI, 17 staff, and 2 senior advisors across the globe. Happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Ronnie, for this presentation. Ronnie is online, so you can reach out to him directly online, I would suspect. But next up is InvestaX. InvestaX offers end-to-end digital security issuance and trading for private markets. So you can really see the themes tonight, digital assets as well as ESG has already been covered. Julian, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Julian Kwon. I'm the co-founder of InvestaX. We are a licensed investment and trading platform based out of Singapore for digital securities, and we focus on global products for global investors. Thanks to Jonas, Melvin, Jaideep, the FT team for having us here today. I'm going to show a quick 4-minute video. It's just a few features at the back of that, just to give it a bit more color and make it a bit more interesting for everyone. So it's certainly not the whole platform. But the quick background was we started one of the first online investment platforms here focused on private equity and real estate. A lot of people didn't think that was going to work back in 2014-15. They were wrong. The industry's kind of exploded. And what we did in 2017, we saw this new technology wrapped around initial coin offerings and the way that cryptocurrency projects were being launched. And we built a thesis that this technology, blockchain smart contracts, would become the infrastructure for all private market assets, real estate funds, private equity startups. If that was the case, and why would that be? Because regulators get more transparency and it's a better user experience for investors and asset managers and asset owners. So in that thematic then, what is the most important businesses to build in the new economy? It's key infrastructure that everybody needs, and that's the InvestaX platform. We are partnering with banks, broker-dealers, other digital securities and security token platforms, cryptocurrency exchanges. We're very welcoming. We built with an open architecture to try to work with as many groups as possible and grow the industry. We're currently closing a Series A round, and we're really excited to come here and have the opportunity to present the platform. So take it away.
InvestaX, bringing you a new world of tokenized investments. We live in a digital era where accessibility is the driver of success. In 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto launched Bitcoin, a new peer-to-peer electronic cash system that brought a new paradigm to the concept and our belief structures of money. Underpinning Bitcoin was blockchain technology, a decentralized distributed ledger technology that records and tracks the provenance of a digital asset. It changed the game. What Bitcoin did to the monetary currency is what InvestaX is doing for private market investments. InvestaX is a licensed investment and trading platform that uses blockchain technology to tokenize illiquid assets into easily tradable tokens so-called digital securities or security tokens. Despite being 4.5 times larger in size than public markets, private market opportunities such as private equity, real estate and venture have had little to no innovation and still remain inaccessible to most investors. Transactions are slow, non-transparent, and investments are illiquid, meaning they're hard to buy and sell. At InvestaX, our mission is to bridge centralized finance and decentralized finance to provide access to tokenized real assets as easily as buying stocks or cryptocurrencies, creating a huge explosion of value. InvestaX is pioneering how investors access digital assets by providing access to new technology-driven investment products, using blockchain infrastructure to enable secondary market trading, and automating processes for transparency and efficiency. Invest and trade instantly in digital assets such as private equity, real estate, venture capital, blockchain companies, fractionalized NFTs, and more. We have built key infrastructure to digitize private assets so you can buy, sell, trade, borrow, or lend instantly across the world, 24/7. The opportunities are infinite. The groundwork is laid. Join the evolution. Sign up at www.investorx.io.
In RX Prime, you can manage the accounts that are related to the account that you set up. So firstly, there is bank accounts that are virtual accounts on HSBC for USD and SGD. And here you, under withdrawal addresses, you can add withdrawal and wallet addresses that are where you will send your tokens to. Here under creating DSO as an issuer, you can key in details of the token that you like to create on which blockchain platform. And there is also the entry of the date for completion and the date for creation. So these are the timings you can key in. You can also set the pricing for the security offering and the terms that you want to offer it at. So after this, the authorizer then gets the DSO, he examines the data and he can then approve it to put it up. And the next step is to deploy the token. You can click deploy once you're sure you want to put it on blockchain. Then we wait a bit of time before it gets deployed, and you can then check the link that's shown to look at the blockchain record. In this case, it will be Etherscan to see this token with the address of the token as well, which is the Ethernet address. And on the investor side, you can then see that the token has been deployed and the DSO has been made available for investment by the investor. Now the next step is that the investor has to associate this token in their wallet. In this case on MetaMask, you have to add this token address and the symbol or decimal will pop up automatically for you. The investor has to also check that their Ethereum address has also been added to the withdrawal addresses and that the token, just double check that the token is associated already. Next, let us look at the secondary market. If you're an issuer who wants to create a listing, you could go here to either create a new listing or import the data from an existing primary issuance. If you import, the details will be auto-populated and you can set the pricing and for the initial subscription, upload any updated documents relevant to this secondary listing. After you've submitted the information, documents, and verified the data information for the team members' information profile, you could press submit for the listing that you would then send over to the authorizer to validate.
Very much.
So much, Julian. That was InvestaX. The next startup that we will see a video from is Senseforth AI. They build AI-powered chatbots and voice bots that are aimed at helping enterprises cut support costs and increase sales. So Senseforth, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, I'm Sridhar, CEO and co-founder of Senseforth AI. We are a multi-experience conversational AI platform helping large enterprises transform their customer experience across Asia Pacific, North America, and Europe. Our singular vision is to make technology human-like and accessible to everyone. If we must pinpoint one thing that has created the most profound impact on your business today, it is the digital customer behavior. The way digital customers think, research, buy, and even use your products has undergone a radical shift. These digital customers are hyper-connected and hyper-demanding. They expect you to solve their problems in real time in a contextual and personalized manner in their preferred channel of choice. This is where Senseforth AI steps in. We are enabling human-like conversations at scale. As agents and sales reps cannot be present on every channel and 24/7, we're building virtual assistants that serve people better. With our patented technology, we deliver highly personalized experiences on every channel and in a contextual manner in a language that your customer speaks. Our virtual assistants don't just handle simple questions and answers. They handle complex tasks such as providing product recommendations, handling objections, generating leads, upselling, cross-selling, and many more. And all these based on a person's unique needs and buying patterns. That is why we are a trusted partner for large enterprises across the world. Let me illustrate this with just 3 success stories to show how we are unlocking business growth for our customers. Back in 2017, when we joined hands with HDFC Bank, one of the largest banks in Asia Pacific that serves over 55 million customers, they were only looking to automate customer service. Today, the virtual assistant that we built for HDFC Bank recommends products, sends personalized offers, handles transactions, and does a lot more. Last month alone, this conversational assistant addressed over 10 million queries across 11 different channels, including Alexa, Google Assistant, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger. You would need an army of people to handle this kind of volume every month. For SBI Card, the second largest credit card issuer with over 12 million customers in India, we built ELA. This virtual assistant has turned out to become their 3rd largest revenue contributor, after channels like web and mobile app. This virtual assistant enables the company to generate over 200,000 leads every month, resulting in thousands of dollars in revenue. Yes, you can get ambitious with conversational AI assistants. Our intelligent assistants not only keep your customers engaged, they can also increase your brand loyalty. We are now working with Government of India to deliver voice-based citizen support. This would enable hundreds of millions of people to access more than 200 different government services in 10 regional languages. I'm sure these success stories would give you a fair idea of how we are reinventing the customer experience. Now, let me sum up with 3 reasons that make Senseforth AI a leader in the conversational AI space. The virtual assistants that we build are really smart. We are the only patented technology player in this space, delivering industry-leading accuracy of over 96%. That is why we rank number 6 in Squad 2.0, the world's most authoritative machine reading comprehension leaderboard, sharing the space with the likes of Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Secondly, we deliver faster time to value. While other conversational AI providers take 6 to 8 months to build simple virtual assistants, we build complex ones in under 1 month. This is made possible by pre-trained, battle-tested AI models for thousands of scenarios with built-in connectors and, most importantly, a zero-code bot building platform. Last but certainly not the least, our in-depth analytics engine enables our clients to foresee customer needs and launch better products and services. Clearly, customer experience is now a key competitive differentiator for organizations worldwide. And if you're looking for the right partner to transform customer experience, Senseforth is the one. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Senseforth AI. Next up is New Wealth. New Wealth offers wealth tools and smart fin apps, applying data-driven personalizations and mastering automated financial advice. Loic, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm very pleased to introduce you to New Wealth. So we are a Singapore B2B FinTech. We are headquartered in Singapore, and we have also part of the team in Vietnam. Okay. We deliver digital engagement solution to financial institutions, and we differentiate, or we play on several strengths. The first one is the quality of the user experience of the apps we deliver for our clients. The second one, we deliver modern front to middle solutions that they can directly administrate and operate. It's very important. The third one, we became, step by step, not just a specialist of private banking, but we went also to the retail and to the mass. We've built a deep experience, and we have proven experience in that field. And last but not least, the whole team, the DNA of the company is a relentless focus on short time to market and quality of execution. So quality of execution is very important for me. Earlier this year, we were awarded the Wealth Tech 100 Global Awards. And of course, a couple of months ago, we joined F10. Today, I would like to demo the next one of our clients, which is fondsingapore.com. So I think you can check the URL is quite obvious. It's a web portal focusing on retail investors and asset management professionals for the Singapore market. It encompasses all the instruments, whether UTs or ILPs, which are available on the Singapore markets. And it enables, I would say, on one side, it promotes transparency by equipping the investors with tools to be able to search, to discover, to compare instruments. On the other side, we provide also additional fund tools. Portfolio analysis is a good example. There are profilers, including the ESG investing profiler, which I'm going to demo to you in a minute. And last but not least, we also deliver dynamic education centers. So I think if we can please switch to the small demo. So you can see it's on the mobile. I mean, it can be used on any device. It's a joint project from two associations, also together with CPF. I think they need to play the video. Okay. So there are several call to action, which are proposed for the users. And of course, there's a possibility to promote the latest product available on the market. So if I click, for example, on Go to Fund Library, I'll be here able to browse the different products. So it's called the card view, which is really optimized for mobile use. There are all sorts of views for all the different devices. You're able to search and filter by a lot of dimensions. I mean, this is the typical, I would say, fund tools that you can find. Maybe something a bit different, not just focusing on the ease of UX, is the sustainability profiler. So the whole objective is to combine together, I would say, discovery, education, awareness, together with helping the users to ascertain his preference. So there are a series of questionnaires, I would say, okay, which are very engaging on trying to use the latest UX techniques and to help the users, to choose. So here, for example, we are proposing several causes, several topics that resonate to people, whether on E, whether on S, social, or whether on G, governance, which is usually not that obvious to explain. This is the customer version. There is also a relationship manager version. So once you select, none or as many as you want topics, you'll be able to go to the next steps. Next step of the questionnaire, for example, here, we're able to show, binary choice using Tinder style, trying to assess, the ESG investment experience. Have you invested into an ESG product or not? The same way that have you invested in bonds, etc. Another question, to go deeper, this is about the absolute performance, within an industry. There are obviously some company better than others, even within industry like airlines or petroleum industry. And the historical trend is very important. What are the ones which are making good progress? And you're able also to exclude, so it's called negative screening. You can select different topics, and this will immediately apply on your profile. So there's a bit of storytelling, obviously, some assessment on the different dimension, and the tool is able to propose you default filters, which you can customize, whether on carbon risk, 1 to 5, environment risk, social risk, governance risk, and of course, also the possibility to exclude. And then once you launch the search, you will go back to the screener, but this time, with a view on ESG and a filter on ESG. You're able to see the product. You're able, like before, to select different products, to put them into a portfolio. Here, we're going to do some comparisons on 3 instruments. Sorry, it's a bit fast. And this is called side-by-side comparisons, where you're able to see, within the same screen, obviously, you'll be on a tablet, on the desktop, you'll be able to see a bit more information. But the whole idea is to compare on a non-advisory basis in this specific context, the different product and the look-through. And last point I want to show you, there is also a dynamic education centers, which is available, mostly this one focusing on retail, where I would say the key players of the industry, the key partner from the association are able to publish different content, which are then distributed on the different websites. And that was for the quick presentations. I would say in general, if you're looking at modernizing the fund buying experience for your clients, or if you are looking at equipping your relationship managers with client-centric tools, then please talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Loic, for this presentation and the great illustration as well. Next up is a startup that is based in Korea, in Seoul, so we'll travel a bit further up north into the cold. Doomoolmori offers an investment solution providing a customized investment journey for each customer's financial goals. So Ryan, the floor is yours.
Hello, great to see you all in the F10 Global Summit. I'm Ryan Song, co-founder and CSO of Doomoolmori. We are the tech company to build customized intelligent scalable investment solution. Since we established in 2015, we keep pursuing to create a personalized investment experience for retail clients. In Korea, we are one of the leading robo-advisors. We have experienced high growth in this field so far. We have achieved 145 billion AUM in US dollar and 14,000 managed accounts. Currently, we are preparing for next funding round, Series B funding. Our team has very unique combination of investment experts, experienced engineers, and data analysts. We have 5 CFAs and industry top-tier quants. We have an ambition to expand our business to global wealth management market, especially Asia market with our core engine. So, there was a strategical movement. We are focusing on wealth management solution in Asia market with personalized investment engine which can be integrated with third-party partnership. Today, I will introduce our core technology, direct indexing engine Cosmos, which enables hyper-personalized investment. Direct indexing solution is a very recent trend even in the US market. Most of the major asset managers want to enter this solution market very quickly. To do that, many of them are acquiring direct indexing firms in a hurry. There are many M&A happening in the North America from last year. The biggest asset manager, BlackRock, started to acquire the Aperio with $1 billion US. Even though they have a very powerful investment solution, Aladdin. One of the largest wealth management funds, Morgan Stanley, acquired Parametric with $7 billion. Charles Schwab, JP Morgan, Fidelity also have a strategically positioned in this market. These M&A cases show how asset managers are urgently entering this solution market. So, what is the value of direct indexing? Direct indexing is technology to replicate, index, and directly purchase the individual equities for each account. So far, when you meet wealth managers, he may suggest a standardized mutual fund or ETFs. But with this kind of bundled products, it is impossible to suggest customized investment portfolio applying each client's sophisticated needs. With direct indexing solution, wealth managers can provide customized index and customized investment portfolio for every account and clients. For example, if someone wants to invest in the US market, he would purchase S&P 500 index ETF or mutual fund. But because this is a bundled product, it is impossible to apply the investor's preference or any customization. If we can apply direct indexing technology to each account, it will be possible to offer any customization taking in or out individual stocks from the standardized index basket. So, each client can apply his risk avoidance, tax efficient trading, factors or theme preference to their portfolio freely. We have very unique position in this market. We have built global investment database including all listed stocks of 127 countries with 5 million financial statements in our own cloud database, which is the largest investment data system in Korea. And also, we have accumulated our experience in individual account management system, building robo-advisor system. In our view, there is a few competitors who have both technologies in Asian market. Also, we have completed to develop ready-to-use our own direct indexing platform, Cosmos. We think there is at least 1 year technology gap compared to other competitors. There should be two main capabilities to build direct indexing solution. One is the global-wise corporate database and analytics capability, and the other one is the individual account management capability. The firm having two capabilities is very rare in Asian market. The revenue model is based on asset under management around 0.4% per annum. We will provide our direct indexing engine to mainly wealth management firms or fintech platform who want to provide more sophisticated wealth management service on their platform. Thanks to F10 support, we have made meaningful progress for last 3 months acceleration program. We have sharpened our business model with F10 program. During this time, our business model has been evolved to direct indexing. We are collaborating with one of our global asset managers to make direct indexing based WM solution for one of the fastest growing country. We also have entered the negotiation to purchase Cosmos program with top-tier local asset managers. Currently, we are looking for investors who participate in our Series B funding, raising $13 million US. Also, we are looking for partners to make a direct indexing based WM solution. Thank you for paying attention to our presentation. Hope you are well and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. It was a pleasure to meet you guys also in August when I was visiting Seoul. So we are on the home stretch now. Are you guys still awake, full of energy? Awesome. So Andy is gonna bring us home. Andy is representing BlueFire AI. It is a pioneering technology company passionately dedicated to digital innovation in risk management. Andy, the floor is yours.
Does it work? Yeah, okay. I'm Andy G from BlueFire AI. I'm the head of research. So we started BlueFire AI 16, I think, with a lofty idea, which is we want to democratize information sharing in financial markets. And 5 years on, we're still grappling with some of the problem statements, but we've been focusing on three main things the industry is struggling with. So obviously scale will be one thing that the industry hasn't found a real solution. I mean, if you think about the whole industry, investment industry, trying to get more intelligence, more coverage, that's exactly just a process of throwing more money at it. If you want top talent, you throw top dollar to that process. This is not the most efficient way of doing things. So cost is very visible in terms of how we scale it up. So we reduce the cost for the industry as a whole. But scale has other benefits, which is not that visible. The first benefit is, if you look at scale, we're essentially providing a lot bigger opportunity set. If you look at top asset managers, they probably manage 200 companies. There's a lot of concentration in that space. They will be actively following 200 companies and passively following the next 200, maybe 1,000 companies by using other resources. We look at 10,000 companies on a daily basis, automated. So that's essentially giving such a big universe of coverage to the asset managers. And also scale, we don't really choose 10,000 as a lucky number, because that scale of covering 10,000 companies gives you insights. So we normalize all the behavior, individual company behavior against the peers in the industry, in the capital markets, in different life cycles. So we define what's a normal behavior that a company exhibits, and we actually extract intelligence from having those insights, putting context around the facts that we're actually giving to our clients. So that's what Scale does for us. And the second focus that we have in the past 5 years is really having a kick-ass decision-making model. What the decision-making model does is actually doing the same thing as a human investor, essentially just ingest all different kind of information and come up with outcome, a prediction. The difference is we ingest a lot more data sets than humanly possible in terms of ingestion. So we have obviously the fundamental data sets, which is traditional financial information, and we have alternative data sets. It could be herd behavior analytics that we actually manufacture ourselves. It could be natural language processing in native languages, Mandarin, Korean, Japanese, so on and so forth. And we spend a lot of time early on supervised learning, just doing the knowledge domain transfer into that space. So we consume a lot of data sets at a frequency that's humanly impossible to digest. And also the accuracy of the prediction itself matters. And that's also how we actually employ different machine learning algorithms all the way from supervised learning to a deep learning algorithm. So that's how a decision model is made. The problem with decision model and problem with FinTech industry is no one's gonna buy a black box. So our solution to that are two problems. First, we're making a glass box. So we're giving them inputs. We give them the ability to explain, which is trying to foster that trust in that decision-making model itself. So that's, if you look at this UI, it's essentially cover all aspects of a decision-making model in different markets: equity, bonds, credit risk, automated implied rating itself. So it's a holistic view of a company from all participants of marketplace, and we give them a visualization which they can relate to in their work process. And the second thing that to encourage adoption is really plugging directly to a work process which is existing. We're not going to fight, the incumbents by giving them a totally different work process. They want a first cup of coffee by the table or by the desk, they will have it. So this will be an example of a systematic process, a hedge fund receiving just Excel file or CSV file, giving them information when they actually think about portfolio sizing while rebalancing. So that sort of plugs in directly to a systematic process, which they don't need to change anything, really. So these three things we've been spending the last 5 years on, and we actually work on all platforms. We don't encourage people to use all those platforms of work, but that's available so they can use it. That's it. Thank you very much for the time, and being the last one. Yeah, thank you.
Great job. Great job. Thank you, Andy. So now we crossed the finish line. Basically, just a few more words from myself before we close tonight's event. So what you have, for those online, for those here, we're not really allowed to do networking. For those online, they have the opportunity now also to engage with the startups. You can go to the expo booth on the left-hand side, and you will meet the startups in there. If you are someone new to F10, if you would like to join the F10 in one way or the other, we are always looking for great mentors for our startups. We're looking for investors for the startups. we are looking for startups themselves because we will be running more programs for the future. Our partners, as you heard today, have different needs. So you can reach out to us. And of course, also, if you are a corporate and you would like to get in touch with startups and you would like to get in touch via F10 with these startups, then do also reach out to us. We're happy to discuss how we can work together. But yeah, this is it from the F10 Global Summit Singapore edition. You have the chance tomorrow to join Madrid as well. And on Thursday is the big F10 Global Summit in Zurich. Thank you guys so much here, audience in the room. It was great to finally get that feeling again with the audience, and also to the thousands of people that joined us online tonight. That was great to have you all here. Thank you so much and have a great evening. Bye, guys.